Does Dilma Rousseff's government have the strength to carry out Joachim Levy's reforms?
That's the biggest question that we have at this point. They announced something, the market wanted them to announce something, but now we need to see how they're going to implement everything that they announced. 2/3 of everything they announced needs to be approved by Congress. And we're talking about a president that has an 8% approval rating, so a very, very, very fragile political support system. So that's been Alice's big question today.
All right, Julia, this is Ramey here. Got a question about a little more deep into the politics here. Enactment of these proposals obviously goes through the legislature. Brazil's opposition, for example, didn't want the return of a banking transaction tax that happened back in August. That is now back on the table at a 0.2% rate. But, will that survive? What else will survive? What do you think will not have the support?
That's right. That is the biggest question mark at this point. The CPMF, that was on the cover of every newspaper this morning.
Right.
The leader of the lower house already said that is unlikely to go through. And like you said, the government did circulate trying to revive that before they presented a budget deficit, and it was met with so much rejection that they went and presented the budget with a $30 billion deficit.
Julia, it does kind of seem like they were trying to do anything they could to get to some kind of primary budget surplus. There's 7 billion reais in cuts to government wages, but then there's 20 billion in cuts to things that are incredibly important for development, sanitation, broadband rollout. Why was it so hard to find cuts somewhere else that wouldn't have affected development?
They're in a really tough spot right now because we're in such a deep recession and what they've been saying is they can't really cut. And this was a direct response to S&P, which downgraded Brazil to below investment grade last week. So they just scrambled. They had meetings all over the weekend and just tried to come up with something, which the Senate leader actually called, "This is better than nothing. It's a good step."
Yeah,
this is what we have at this point.
Damning with faint praise. Is the legislature there too distracted by the car wash scandal to get anything done?
It has been a big problem. A lot of the big-name politicians are involved. Both the leader of the Senate and the lower house have been mentioned in the probe. So that has eroded a lot of political support for Rousseff. And it is a distraction that just keeps coming. Every week there's something new. Every day there's something new sometimes. So we just don't know what is going to happen with that, how far it's going to go.